Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Off the Dome podcast. This is episode 14. It is the first episode of February, the first episode of Black History Month. Let's fucking go. Shout out to all the fucking black athletes out there. Because without you, I wouldn't have anything to talk about. Because, Gordon Hayward's good, but he's not. I mean, I don't want a league full of Gordon Haywards, you know what I mean? I would much rather watch people being able to dunk and run fast and shit like that. And yeah, so I'm very appreciative of all of y'all. It's also today, it's like Women in Sports Day or whatever it is. So shout out to that too, I guess. I mean, Joe Biden just made it legal or whatever for transgenders to compete in women's sports. So males pretty much can decide on whether or not there will be any women in sports in 5 years from now. But let's move on to let's move on to more of the political stuff of things here. Enough about the fun games and stuff like that. Let's move on to what is pretty much a stacked episode. There's been a lot of drama, a lot of NBA drama, and I love NBA drama, but there's been quite a bit of it recently. LeBron James, constantly. Y'all see that girl there? Courtside Karen, of course. I put her in the fucking thumbnail. I'm just trying to clickbait y'all because she low-key bad. Annoying as fuck, sure. Made of plastic? Sure, but bad? Yeah. Gotta admit it. Also, what is this between Klay Thompson, Big Baby Davis, and Rodney McGruder? Like, I feel like this is one of those stories that just kind of randomly appeared when they're all of a sudden just taking shots at each other. It was sort of a thing for like a few days. I was going to do something to talk about it, but whatever, like who the fuck cares? Nets Clippers was hype last night, or as I'm recording this last night. When you're watching it, it probably was 2 nights ago, whatever. Fred VanVleet as well just went off. By the way, I'm recording this at 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. So there are a few games going on right now. The 76ers are playing right now. I think there's a few other games. So if I say anything and you're like, well, Baller Nation, you're dumb as shit because that's not true anymore because the 76ers, fucking Joel Embiid is dead now. I mean, he hasn't died yet. Okay, so I'm just, fair warning. But let's go. And I want to start with this LeBron James thing. I just want to get it out of the way. Okay, I want to get rid of it. I want it to be off my mind. This is I made a few like TikToks about it, but honestly, like it's one of those things where if it wasn't LeBron James and if the girl wasn't hot, no one would fucking care. But because it is LeBron, because she's hot and rich, or her husband's rich, I mean, it's a thing. That's how this world works. That's how the news cycle works. Okay, now, am I mad at that? Not really. It's kind of funny. LeBron James seems to be, I mean, this is honestly the second time this has happened where a fan kind of gets up. The last time was that Cavs equipment manager or whatever it was, when LeBron missed a shot at the end of the third quarter and he stood right up and started clapping in his face, and LeBron just hung like 25 points on him in the fourth quarter. And then this time, this chick gets up and starts talking shit to LeBron, and LeBron hits like the game-winning, or he had a clutch three-pointer and then hit like pretty much the dagger layup, or might have been an and one. I'm not 100% sure. But pretty much the moral of the story is don't talk shit to LeBron James. Just don't do it. I don't know why. You are the loser in any situation. You're the loser. You can make LeBron could be completely in the wrong. Okay, which in these two situations he's not. But LeBron could be completely in the wrong. He could have done the worst thing ever. But if you as a spectator, especially if you're the wife of a rich person who looks the way you do, you're gonna get hate because a lot of people want to fuck you. All right. Okay, you're not winning this against LeBron James. You're just not gonna do it. Okay, LeBron has everybody on his side. Even people who don't like LeBron James are still on LeBron's side on this. If you're on the basket, like, there's no person in the right mind is like, all right, she's got a point. Even she came out and apologized after. But if you're a fan out there and you're planning to go to an NBA game and talk shit to LeBron James, just know that you're probably going to get kicked out of the game. Okay. And then you're going to get blasted on social media. And by the way, I'm sure that that's sort of what she wanted, because now I mean, everyone knows her fucking name. Let me find it real quick here. Juliana Carlos. See, knew that right off the top of my head. Okay, but I bet her Instagram followers have gone up. Probably. She's probably gotten a few interviews. I don't fucking know. If she wants to come on the Off the Dome podcast, she's more than welcome. She can hop right on. I do not care. But the thing is, in the moment, you have nothing to gain really. LeBron's just going to shut you down. I guess it will be cool. I mean, okay, maybe if there was a player that you were going to shit talk, LeBron James is a pretty good shout because he does have a lot of haters. And it's LeBron James. It's arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. You can tell your grandkids, yeah, LeBron James called me a crazy bitch. I would love that. That'd be pretty cool if LeBron James just like, yo, fucking ginger-headed, pasty-ass white boy, you're a crazy bitch. I would be like, yo, thank you. I'm going to tell my kids and my kids' kids and my kids' kids' kids. And I'm going to make sure that the story of me being called a crazy bitch by LeBron James gets carried down throughout the timeline in my family's history. That's going to be one of the major events in my family's history. So basically what happened in the situation was, apparently, first of all, this chick's husband hates LeBron. I mean, he's made a few posts that have like 17 likes on Instagram back in like 2017, where he's chatting shit, as the UK Mandan would say. Yeah, he's chatting shit. I don't know where that came from, but he's talking shit to LeBron James in his Instagram captions. Okay, and then so there's obviously he doesn't like LeBron. He's a Hawks fan. Hawks were really good back in the day, and LeBron just would rape him 4 straight in the conference finals. So Hawks fans don't really like LeBron to begin with. This guy just doesn't like LeBron James. And his apparently, according to the wife, according to fucking Courtside Karen over here, LeBron James was the one who initiated the shit talking. And obviously her husband is somebody because he's a rich motherfucker. Her husband is rich. First of all, he's not that attractive, and he got her, and he's like twice her age, and he's sitting courtside at Lakers games. So he's got money. He's somebody. He's somebody. She has a picture of her and 2 Chainz on her Instagram. So this guy is somebody. I didn't care enough to look into who the fuck he was, but he's somebody. Okay. So apparently LeBron James calls he calls her husband like some stereo or he pretty much implies that her husband uses steroids, which it looks like he does. He probably does. And then she gets up and starts yelling at LeBron James, defending her husband. And LeBron James calls her a crazy bitch. She gets kicked out of the arena. And then on her way out, she's recording like a shit ton of Instagram stories. You know, like whenever like whenever, those people who whenever like something happens, like some political shit happens, they just post like a million Instagram stories. And at the top, it's like a bunch of just like those like dots for each story. You know what I mean? If you don't, never mind. But yeah, she pretty much goes out posts like 20 Instagram stories of her talking about what happened in the situation. No one fucking cares. No one cares about you. Like really, no one does. And then yeah, she apologized the other day, got all her clout, got all her attention. This picture that you saw on the thumbnail and it's on the TV here was taken like yesterday. So she's happy. I'm sure she's happy. And that's that. Now we got the shit out of her way. The Courtside Karen shit. It was a funny moment. It's a moment that's going to go down in Karen history, really. I mean, she's one of the greatest. As far as Karens go, she's up there. And I don't think this will be the last that we see of her. I hope she comes back. That'd be pretty cool. See her in the NBA Finals, something like that. Maybe one day when the Hawks are good, Trae Young can lead his team against LeBron James, who'll probably be like 48 years old, playing with Bronny. And Courtside Karen will make her reappearance, come back like the Undertaker, maybe one day if we're all lucky. But that's it. That's it from Courtside Karen. She rolled in, now she's gone in the wind. Great story, inspirational, really. Yeah, I was gonna talk about Klay Thompson and Big Baby Davis and Rodney McGruder beef, but I'm gonna just not talk about that and instead just talk about the common theme that seems to be a thing amongst older players or players who have retired from the NBA. And that common theme is just to shit on current players. Shaquille O'Neal is the king of this. Shaq, any big man who is above 7 feet tall, and if they're not putting up like fucking 30 points and 15 boards a game, Shaq just hates on him, just rips on him. And I don't get it. You can't, like, Shaquille O'Neal, like, literally, and I understand he's one of the greatest of all time. He can say whatever the fuck he wants to say. I'm not going to fight him on this. There's no way. I am not going to fight Shaquille O'Neal on this. I'm just saying where this originated from. Shaq was sort of the first one to really make it trendy, at least this season. It's always been a thing where players are like, yo, this generation's soft. The current NBA is soft, which it is. And like, I love it when I see basketball fans and like, yo, soccer is the softest fucking sport ever. But then I watch these games and it's like some of the fouls, it's like, yo, like, it's soft. It's soft. Both sports can be soft. Both sports can be very tough though. All right. But yeah, obviously the current NBA is the softest it's ever been. That's facts. But that doesn't mean that all these fucking old heads from the 90s can just go in here and talk shit about the NBA. Like they make this era sound like it's shit. You hear this all the time. Everybody thinks it would dominate in another era. Every fucking player from the 90s is like, yo, if I play today, I would drop 50 a game. And then you hear players from today like, yo, if I played in the 90s, if I played in the 80s, I would win 3 3-peats. Everybody thinks that they would be better in another decade. And I like professional athletes, they obviously got big egos. I'm not gonna like, they're obviously very talented players. But I don't understand why you feel the need to talk shit about players in your sport that are following in your footsteps. Or the other way around. I don't like it. Honestly, it's more toward NBA fans. There's not a lot of NBA players who say older eras are shit. You know what I mean? It's more NBA fans. And that's the other thing I don't get. Like, why do NBA fans hate the 80s so much? Or hate the 70s so much? Hate the 60s so much? Like, there's so many NBA fans out there who will not give Bill Russell any credit. He won't give him an ounce of credit. Kareem, doesn't count. Michael Jordan doesn't count. Because their opponents were shit. Like, why hate the era? Why hate the old NBA? Why hate on the players who are the reason why your favorite player is playing today? Why do that? I don't understand. Everyone loves Kobe Bryant, but the same motherfuckers who worship Kobe Bryant be like, yo, Michael Jordan was trash. If it wasn't for Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant wouldn't have been Kobe Bryant. He wouldn't have been Kobe, bro. That's what I don't get. You got to give credit for these guys. Bill Russell won 11 NBA championships, won like 8 in a row. That's impressive in anything ever. For anybody to win 11 times, be champion 11 times in their entire career is ridiculous. In anything. In fucking Rubik's Cube fucking things, in Olympics, in basketball, in Little League Baseball. If you win a championship 11 times in any era, that's impressive as fuck. When you win 11 times in 13 years, that's ridiculous. If you win 11 Oscars, if you win 11 fucking best directors, if you win 11 things, if you win the same thing 11 times, you are great. I don't care who the fuck you were going up against. You are great. Now, this obviously in politics can be different because fucking this might get me shot, but Vladimir Putin, that motherfucker, apparently you can't vote against Vladimir Putin. Apparently that's a thing. Or dictators too. Like places, I think, all I know is that in Russia, like apparently, or I know this happens other places too, probably Kim Jong-un, but if you vote against them, you just die, so no one votes against them. So I could see that winning 11 straight times might not make you great, but you get what I'm saying, all right? I'm sorry. That's really it. I didn't have a lot to say about players beefing with each other, other than it's funny. And two funny stories right here off the top of my head. By the way, do y'all like how I'm lit right now? Because I kind of rock with it, but these lights are kind of hot. I don't know, man. I just feel kind of hot right now. 1 second. All right, let's move on. Whew. We're over halfway through the NBA season 2, by the way, which is stupid. It feels like it's moving so fast. And I'm hyped for the playoffs. Truly hyped for the playoffs. Anyway, Nets Clippers last night was ridiculous. Speaking of the playoffs, a matchup that I don't think we're going to see in the playoffs, Brooklyn Nets versus LA Clippers. And the reason why I don't think that we're going to see the Nets and the Clippers in the playoffs is because I don't want the Lakers to be in the finals. So I'm going to bet on them to make it to the finals. That's my motto. This is my new motto in sports. Well, it's been like this for a while, but what I live by is that if I don't like a team, the least I can do is be right about them being really good. You know, if I don't like a team, I'm not going to be wrong about them being good. If I don't like a team, they are the best fucking team. I'm going to bet all my money on that team because shit, I always bet on the team that I don't want to win. That way, if the team I want to win wins, okay, I lose my money, but the team I wanted to win. Now if the team that I don't want to win wins, then shit, the team I wanted to win loses, but at least I got money now. At least I made some money. So that's the way I roll through life. You know, and I think it's a flawless way to roll through life. I always win and I always lose. Now perspective, I have the ability to change my perspective. So I just look at the positive side and I'm like, yeah, I won every time. I lost money, but my team won. My team lost, but I got money. So I'm unbeatable in that facet. But yeah, so as much as I think that this could happen, I'm not going to say it's going to happen. Nets Clippers, it's a great game though. It was hype all the way through. The Clippers, they are an amazing first quarter team and they came out the gates flying. Kawhi Leonard had me 30 fantasy points at halftime. Or no, he had me 30 fantasy points at the halfway mark of the first quarter. This guy just didn't miss a shot in the first quarter. He was going off. He went through a slow second and third quarter, struggled. Fourth quarter, picked it back up again, hit a clutch and one layup, hit the free throw. And I mean, speaking of clutch shots, Paul George hit a clutch shot. Kevin Durant, that fucking pull up three to put the Brooklyn Nets up 10 with about 2 minutes left. Ridiculous. Kyrie Irving just went off on this whole team. Kyrie, I think, he led all scorers. Kyrie and KD led the way down the stretch. And really, when I watch the Brooklyn Nets, I think that the first three quarters, this is everybody's offense. It's Harden, it's Kyrie, it's KD, it's everybody's offense. But in the fourth quarter, it's Joe Harris. But in the fourth quarter, it's a two-man offense. It's Kyrie's offense and it's Kevin Durant's offense. It's those two guys. You could argue they're the two most clutch players in the NBA. I mean, that's a reasonable thing to say. That KD and Kyrie are the two most clutch players in the league. I think even if you don't believe that to be true, you have to admit there's definitely an argument for that being to be true. But what I don't understand is there was a moment, I think it was about 3 minutes, or it was like 2-3 minutes left in the game, and it was like a 6-7 point game. Brooklyn Nets had the lead. I think it was closer than that. But they let James Harden ISO for an entire possession, and he jacks up and he bricks a three. Now, Harden made some big plays in the fourth quarter, made some big plays all game. He's made some big plays all season. But when I got KD and Kyrie on the court, do I want James Harden to take the most important shots? Hell no. Hell no. Literally, you have KD and Kyrie, two guys who are known for being clutch. And then you have James Harden, a guy who's known for choking in big moments. In the fourth quarter from the Brooklyn Nets, I am just giving the ball to KD and Kyrie Irving. Or they're the ones shooting. They're the ones who are driving the offense. They're creating the plays. And for the Clippers, I think that you can start to rely. I mean, Kawhi Leonard is the best player on this team by far. I mean, I don't know where I've seen this narrative where Paul George he should be an all-star starter this year. He's the one really leading the Clippers. Paul George is great. And I think Paul George is much better than he was last year. I think his mental, I think that's the here this year. Because last year, you remember in the bubble, man, this man was like literally going through depression, which is why he was shit. Kawhi Leonard was shit just because he was shit. But Paul George, he was going through some shit. He had 26 points. Kawhi Leonard, 33 points. Kawhi Leonard, I'm ready to start a petition that doesn't let Kawhi Leonard shoot 3-pointers in the fourth quarter. He can shoot 3-pointers all throughout the game. He shoots about 40% from downtown, which is way better than I thought. But in the fourth quarter, can we please not let Kawhi shoot threes? He just doesn't hit them. I don't know why. And I'm sure people can find clips of Kawhi Leonard hitting 3-pointers. I remember there was that one in San Antonio against Houston where he rose up, hit the 3-pointer, then pinned James Harden on the other end. One of the greatest moments of my life. Let's be real. But Kawhi, I'm ready to start a petition. Don't let Kawhi Leonard shoot threes. I'm down with that. In the fourth quarter, at least. He was a +7 on the night. 4 steals, 2 blocks. I'm saying this right now. Kawhi Leonard, I've always been big on Kawhi, but he truly is an MVP candidate, and he's a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He's in the top 5, I think, in MVP for sure. And Defensive Player of the Year, he's 1, 2, or 3. I mean, it's Gobert, it's Turner, and it's Kawhi Leonard right now. That's what I see. Because Kawhi's a strap. He really is a strap, and he can really guard anybody on the Brooklyn Nets, which was crazy. Like, Kyrie Irving shook him once. Kevin Durant really, when he was being guarded by Kawhi Leonard, didn't do much. He really didn't. You notice this. You know you're a great defender when every single time Kawhi Leonard is guarding you. Every single time Kawhi Leonard is guarding you, you switch off of him. Every single player does it. Even LeBron James does it. And once you start noticing it, you can't take your eye off of it. Kawhi Leonard, just an absolute strap on defense. Speaking of players who are fucking good as shit, Nick Batum is literally a demigod. And I don't care what you say, but Nick Batum, like, low-key, is just an absolute cheat code. He came over from Charlotte and was overpaid as fuck by Michael Jordan for reasons that I don't fucking know why. And so everyone just kind of assumed that his career was over. But in 2020, 2021, Nick Batum is he's a catch and shoot, just demigod. This guy, he's a knockdown 3-point shooter out of fucking nowhere. 5 of 8 from downtown. He was hitting these fucking catch and shoot. He was looking like Klay Thompson at times. Just an absolute sniper. Shout out Nick Batum, man. Shout out Nick Batum. He had 21 points. Marcus Morris coming off the bench at 16 points. And then for the Brooklyn Nets, Harden with 23 points, 14 assists, 11 rebounds. He is a walking triple-double. Every fucking game, this guy is just an absolute walking triple-double. Kevin Durant with 28 points, 9 boards. Kyrie Irving, game high, 39 points. He went off. Him and KD went off in the fourth quarter. And then Joe Harris, 13 points, but was a +16 on the night. He was a +16 on the night. Terrific from Joe Harris right there. Now, like I said, I think the Lakers are going to win the championship. Lakers, for me, they're the best team in the NBA right now. And I say they're going to win partly because I don't like them and I don't want them to win. They're the one team I don't want to win. So I just picked them to win. But also, the Lakers, as much as I think the Lakers are favorites, the Clippers and Nets both look like they could beat them. I don't think they will, but you're lying to yourself if you don't think a Lakers-Clippers series is going less than 6 games. That bitch is a 6-7 game series. And I'm saying right now I'm leaning 60-40 Lakers. Same as the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn versus Lakers, that's a long series. That's 6-7 games, and anything can happen in those long series. Anything can fucking happen. I give the Nets a better chance to beat the Lakers than the Clippers. But we got a real big 3 right now in the NBA as far as contenders go. The Lakers, Clippers, and Brooklyn Nets. They all look really good. Philadelphia out of the East looks good. Milwaukee coming out of the East looks good. Utah out West, best record in the NBA at 16-5, but it's hard to say the Jazz are a contender. It's just hard to say. I want, like, out of the reasonable team, or out of the top teams right now in the standings, I want the Jazz to win just because they're the underdog, and it'd be funny as fuck to see how mad everyone gets at Rudy Gobert for winning. I think that'd be fucking hilarious. But yeah, I mean, Denver, they're looking really good this year. Out in the East, Boston with a big win against Golden State the other night. Indiana has been surprising a lot of people. Milwaukee, like I mentioned. Brooklyn, like I mentioned. 76ers, like I mentioned. This is going to be obviously a great playoffs. In the Eastern Conference, like last year, the first round isn't going to be very exciting because there's sort of that big, right now it's kind of that big 5. Hawks, Cavs, and Hornets kind of rounding out the top 8 in the East. But Speaking of teams in the East who are contending for the playoffs, the Toronto Raptors are back in it. And I have to mention this. I don't normally mention Raptors. I don't normally watch the Toronto Raptors play because they're kind of boring. They're a boring team to watch. Living in Canada, all I fucking see on Sportsnet every night is Raptors basketball. I promise you no one fucking cares. Or, okay, Raptors fans cares. I just don't. Okay? 9-14, they won 2 in a row. They're the 9-seeder now in the Eastern Conference. They're coming up. They're on the rise. And Fred fucking Van Vliet, this man, 54 points, 3 steals, 3 blocks. What do you have? He had 2 assists, 3 boards. No one cares about that. 1 turnover. 54 fucking points. 11 of 14 from downtown, 17 of 23 from the field. He broke the Raptors' all-time record for most points in a game, surpassing DeMar DeRozan. Kyle Lowry also had a triple-double. But how about Fred Van Vliet? And he got me, by the way, 105 fantasy points. This is ridiculous. What the fuck happened? Second half, he definitely cooled down. But in the first half, Fred Van Vliet was off the charts. He just snapped out of nowhere. He was like 8 of 9 from downtown at halftime. I thought he had a chance of passing. I think it was Steph Curry has the record right now, or Klay Thompson, or Zach LaVine. One of those fucking people have the record. I think it's Zach and Klay. I think are tied at 14. But I thought Van Vliet had a good chance at it. Finished the second half with 11 of 14 from downtown. But what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened with Fred Van Vliet? We literally just watched and are watching currently Fred Van Vliet turn into a Raptor legend. Even if you're not a Toronto Raptor fan, we were watching in 2019 when the Milwaukee Bucks were up 2-0 on the Toronto Raptors. It seemed like Kawhi Leonard wasn't working. Like it was, as great as Kawhi was that year, he couldn't beat Giannis. He couldn't beat this team, and he had very little help. And then out of nowhere, on comes fucking Fred Van Vliet after the birth of his kid. I think it was like the day after his kid was born, and Van Vliet was ass in the first and second round, and the first 2 games of the third round. This man did fuck all. He was useless. He was pointless. He just didn't serve a purpose to the Raptors. He just didn't. And all of a sudden in game 3, out comes Fred Van Vliet knocking down threes, and he and Kawhi, and once Fred got going, it seemed like Lowry got going, Pascal Siakam got a little bit more consistent, and then in the NBA Finals, Fred Van Vliet went off, and he even got a Finals MVP vote. It was probably from Skip Bayless, because Skip Bayless did not like Kawhi Leonard that year because he betrayed the Spurs. But when you had a Finals MVP vote, that's crazy. As much as he didn't deserve it, that's fucking sick. Fred Van Vliet. I mean, we watched this guy really come from nothing, come out of nowhere, to being amazing. And last year, he was a very good player last year. First of all, I mean, he was already a Raptor legend by winning the NBA championship and playing the way he did, especially in Game 7. Hitting some of those massive shots he hit in the fourth quarter, or not Game 7, Game 6. He had some huge 3-pointers. And he was already a Raptor legend, but now we're seeing him. He broke a record. Last year, he was really their leader in the playoffs because Siakam just did fuck all. And Kyle Lowry wasn't, Kyle Lowry wasn't really he wasn't leading. I thought Van Vliet was the best player on the Raptors in the playoffs last year. And Fred Van Vliet's come out of the gate hot. He's come out of the gate hot this season, contrary to Pascal Siakam. Kyle Lowry's been doing okay this year. I thought last night he played pretty good. I swear, no. Okay, I don't like Kyle Lowry. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do not like Kyle Lowry. This guy flops so fucking much. It's so annoying, man. And Raptors fans love him for that. And I loved Kyle Lowry during the 2019 playoff run, but now he just pisses me off. This fucking fat ass, it's thick. He's thick, but he just flops so much. That's it. And it's annoying. It's annoying as fuck. It really is. New segment on the Off the Dome podcast after I'm done talking, which I am, thankfully. This was a bit of a shorter episode. What was it? How long are we? We're almost at half an hour. My camera's probably going to turn off because that's what the fucking thing does. It just did. Bro, I literally just got up and turned it back on. My camera turns off after 30 minutes. It's stupid and annoying and dumb as fuck. But whatever. We out here. Anyway, my talking is done, but a new segment I have on the Off the Dome podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I initially called this segment Song of the Week. And by the way, if you want new segments on the podcast, let me know. I might do question and answer, shit like that. Anything, comment, whatever. So initially it's going to be called Song of the Week, but then I do this podcast more than once a week. So it's just song and episode. That just sounds dumber or worse. So anyway, song and episode. Probably can't play it. But I maybe I can put a screenshot of it on the screen. Let me find it real quick. All right. It's just a song that I've been listening to recently. It's a really bad introduction. As far as wanting to make this segment sound cool, I have not done that at all. And I'm very self-conscious and self-aware of that. 03, Bonnie and Clyde featuring Beyonce by Jay-Z. Listen to that. It's hard. It's hard as fuck. I'm not going to sing it, and I can't play it because of copyright, but I'm telling you, listen to it. It's hard. I've listened to a lot of Jay-Z lately. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's it. Speaking of sick fucking songs, Kanye and Mike Dean, like you always do, take these guys to church. I'll see y'all later. Peace to the Mideast, motherfuckers.
Let me get more volume.